And welcome everybody. It is John the Net Guy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It just happens to be Black Friday, one of my favorite days out of the year because, well, you get tech deals on Black Friday, right? That's what we're all shopping for today. Very excited to do a show for these guys. Well, I guess here or here. And I'm kind of sad because the beard doesn't cover the donut yet. Maybe next year, right? But if you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. I do PC builds, tech tips, gear reviews. I do monitor reviews, and a lot of them on Amazon. If you've been checking out some of the deals today, you may have seen my videos, which is kind of scary to see yourself on there, on some of these pages. And I just absolutely love these monitors from Sceptre. So talked to them, and I said, hey, what do you guys think about doing a show? And it was so funny. They sent me this. This is what my porch looked like the other day. They sent me 5 monitors to show you today. Now, with things how they are, we had to do an audible on one just because of supply. Supply is still tough to get on these, but the prices are incredible. I have my little cheat sheet here, and I'm looking down, and it's 29% off, 28% off, 28% off, 9% off, and 35% off on one of my favorite monitors we're going to talk about here soon. So I'm going to just check the chat real quick and get a monitor loaded up so people are going to start talking to us here. We're going to pull up one of the best deals right now. Welcome, everyone. Send. I also have to remind you guys, if you want to chat about these monitors, I'm here live. You can go ahead and unmute, and you can hit the follow button to know whenever I go live, which is awesome. Make sure to unmute. We're live on Amazon, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, just about everywhere I could go live today because I wanted to blast some of these deals out. The first product that we are going to talk about is one of the deals that I think is probably one of the best values today. It's a 25-inch gaming monitor. And actually, I have it hooked up right now to my Xbox, and I'll be able to play some games and show you about it. But this is interactive. I'm kind of looking at the chat for you guys to lead this to let me know where you want the stream to go. So if you're looking for a monitor, if you've been weighing between maybe 2 Sceptre monitors or even Sceptre and another brand, I'll tell you why I think some of these are probably either a better value or some of the features that you may not have thought about that they have. So that's pretty cool. Just checking here. I see Jeremy. Hey, welcome, Jeremy, on the Amazon. Thank you so much. I see a bunch of you guys just showed up from the Amazon. Welcome. Happy Black Friday to y'all. I have to say welcome in my chat, too, over here. Welcome, everyone. If you're on one of those other services, YouTubes and the like, feel free to give me a shout out. I was just double checking my settings here, make sure everything's ready for you. Another interesting thing, if you want to follow the deals and see kind of a curated list of what is really on special right now, that URL that's coming along the bottom, if you're on any one of the other one, okay, I gotta stop for a second to show this one. My friend Randy, he says, go down the donut hole. Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny donut. It has a whole bunch of cool monitor-esque things in the writing. Maybe I'll show it to you close up later here, but if you're just tuning in and you've never seen my show before, I tend to go through pretty quickly and I show you the stuff that we have live. So if you visit here, and I got to make it visible to you guys, if you visit my Amazon page, you come down here, there's an idea list. If I'm not live, you can click on this later. Sceptre Displays live event. These are all the deals I'm going to show you about, and we're going to talk about all these monitors today. So the one that I think, if you are on the fence about getting a gaming monitor, maybe you just want a 24-inch monitor for work or occasional play, this one gets you into that 24-inch monitor club, and it is an incredible deal right now. That's the one I got highlighted in the carousel, and this is the 25-inch 1080p gaming monitor. Now, as far as gaming monitors go, usually when you have a sale or something, it's on the budget line. It's on the one that's not great. You know, it's on the one that most people aren't buying, right? This one sells incredibly well already. It's a super popular gamers monitor. It's normally $169, as you can see here. You're getting $50 off on this one. And if my math on here is correct, that's almost 30%. It's just a hair off of 30%, 29 there. And incredible monitor, 165 hertz refresh rate. If you've got those AMD cards, the FreeSync works on it, and 9 times out of 10, maybe a little more than that, the NVIDIA G-Sync will work as well with these. It's just not something that's licensed usually. So let's take a quick look at what we got, and then maybe we'll play some Red Dead Redemption with it. A couple things I got to point out. It is a full HD monitor in the 24-25 inch space. I love this full HD resolution. Super easy for your budget graphics cards to throw up really quick refresh rate games. And, maybe you've got a 1060 still. Maybe you've got something else that's, 5700. Maybe you've got a 660 XT, you're not going to be flinging, 200 frames a second in Warzone, but maybe you're going to do it in Rocket League, or maybe you're going to do it in some other game, and this monitor is going to be able to keep up with that. 1 millisecond MPRT timing, which is great. The 106% of the sRGB starts to be where you get into those spaces where you could do creator stuff with this. So maybe you're just starting out and you want to try doing some game streaming. Maybe you want to make some YouTube clips. You want to edit those yourself with DaVinci or something. This monitor, when you have such good color, you're going to be able to get that. Another interesting thing I found about all of these monitors is while you can calibrate them to get the colors perfectly, you can't bring saturation into a budget monitor. That's just one thing that happens. So if it doesn't have the colors to begin with, even a calibrated monitor is not going to do it. This has got 106% of the sRGB color space. Super high brightness. That's another thing. If you search budget laptops, budget panels, things like that, what you're often going to find is they throw a 200 nits screen in there, right? So this is over that. This is 300 nits of peak brightness, which is great. And then as I mentioned, it already has the FreeSync. So that's pretty cool. Looking good over here. Just taking a look at the back panel connections. This is another thing to look at. If you're buying a monitor that's got VGA, that's from like last century, right? Another thing on this one, this latest model here, and I haven't seen them doing this. I'm kind of surprised on this. 144 on all inputs, 165 on that one input, and 165 on the display port. Just a rule of thumb, if you've got a gaming PC, throw it on the display port. Got a high refresh rate console, maybe an Xbox Series X, which, hey, that's what I'm playing right now. Go ahead and put it on one of the higher HDMIs. And if you got like a laptop or something that maybe you're doing some video editing, some business stuff, put it on the lower refresh. But this one has 4 inputs. That's great to see. And I didn't think about it before the show, but maybe I should have. One of the tricks that you can do on this, if you have an extra Fire Stick, this thing's got speakers, right? So if you buy this for a kid's room, buy a Fire Stick with it. Now you've got a smart TV out of the deal too. My Xbox is going to sleep there. It wants me to play. So maybe we should do some gaming here. This is Red Dead Redemption 2. There's my horse. Nothing like, super high tech and riding around on a horse and lassoing things, right? Maybe we'll do some hunting, but I'll probably get the PETA guys after me. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat, just seeing here. Who else has played Red Dead Redemption? Just interested in the chat here on both Amazon. Ooh, got a question on Amazon already. Jacob with a K. Nice to meet you, my friend. I'm looking for a set of 2 4K monitors this weekend. Now, Jacob, Sceptre makes some really amazing 4K monitors. Unfortunately, I've got gaming monitors on the brain right now. 4K is usually one of those hard to game on resolutions because you need some really serious cards. And for the longest time, you couldn't get those cards. Take a look at Sceptre's lineup. Let me go into the Amazon. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. Again, if you just want to look at some of their other monitors on any one of these show pages, I'll show you how to get there. There's a link always right under here that says visit the Sceptre store. Hit here and then go into monitors. I'd kind of stay away from their gaming because there's a 4K monitor for you right off the bat, right? So they have them available. Let's go take a look and see what we got here. Sirius ultrawides. We've got that 4K in here. I'm just trying to see if that 4K that they showed was on sale. That's a great question. Oh man, just the Black Friday deal tags on all these. I'd love to see that. And now I need to go back and look at some of this. Okay, here we go. So a 27-inch 4K with the eye strain relief. It's a 75 hertz, so it's not going to necessarily be your gaming one, Jacob. Oh, Jake's reviews. Oh, awesome. Right on. So my last monitor was a 27-1080. Okay, Jake, this is going to be awesome, by the way. If you get something like this, which generally has really good color, I don't know if they're going to talk about the color on these ones, but they're using Photoshop to show it here. But if you're looking at one of these, 4K is exactly quad of the full HD. So you're going to get an amazing picture, and it's going to do pixel doubling if you're playing a game at 1080. So that's what I recommend people. If they're going to be a 1080 gamer, If you get a 4K, you're great. If you get a 1440, you're going to have to drop to 720. So it's a really kind of a fringe area, but great question. And like I said, they have the full complement. That's not in the cart today, but or the carousel, I should say. But another example of their versatility. They also make TVs as well. So I've had some TVs from them in the past, and it worked pretty well. So great question there. I'm just taking a look real quick. Right now, my 24-inch AOC gaming on my MacBook Pro and ready for dual 4Ks. Well, for $500, you could have dual 4Ks. How cheap is that? You almost never. You were spending more than that for a 4K monitor not too long ago, actually. So let's talk about this one. This is that gamer's monitor. Now, I've got it going through a capture card here. Well, so I could do some cool stuff like this. Who wants to see the game full screen? So we can play the game full screen here. We can run around. Now, this isn't going to tell you anything about the monitor's clarity, but I can tell you the monitor is very clear. The color reproduction on a game like this, now they'll go through scenes that are really muted. They'll go through scenes that are really bright. So this monitor with that higher brightness is going to do really, really well on it. I'm just trying to think of which way I want to go. I have to be really careful with the Amazon sensors. I don't want to get bumped off for an accidental injury on the trail happening. Let's put it that way. That's the safest way for this game. But we've got other games to play too here. I am updating my Forza Horizon, as you can see here, because, of course, the day of doing a show like this, it decides that it wants to update. And it's going to take itself a couple hours too. So that's the 25-inch monitor. Again, 165 hertz. That's going to be a VA panel. I'm going to show you a graphic here, and just ask me if you want to see this again. This is kind of all of the monitors that we have on a super deal today. I'm looking at the second column right now. So this E255B one. So, oh, sorry, it's a TN panel. That was how they get the ultra high refresh rate out of this thing. So the TN panel was kind of surprising to me because the color's so good on it, right? And you don't normally see that out of a TN panel. So you've got three different kind of panel types. You got TN, VA, and IPS. Now, IPS is generally going to be your best color. Not as great on the contrast, right? So the brightness, contrast, those usually struggle in there. It's got usually really good view angles. Let's take a look at that. So this TN panel and IPS, that's pretty good view angles. We'll talk about color shift, and when we get to the VA monitors, you're going to see they drop off really, really sharply. So if you've got a flat monitor here and you've got maybe two people that play together often or next to each other or watch, it's kind of nice to have a wider view angle. Same thing when you're shopping for TVs. So that's what we're looking at now. Okay, that's the 25-inch monitor. Just to keep things moving, I am going to move along to one of the next monitors, which I think is a fantastic deal today. And I'm going to pull it up on the carousel here. And that is the C30 ultrawide. Now, they've been making updates constantly to the C30. If you're a big-time console gamer, ultrawide's probably not going to be your thing. If you're a PC gamer, though, you've got some really cool advantages when you have an ultrawide. You go from 16 by 9, so this is, let's put them next to each other here, right? So this is the 16, this is the 9, so that's the ratio of the size. And, I'm old enough that monitors were 4 by 3 back in my day. So here we go. Pull this up. This one, if you look at it, see it's already, and I'm behind it with a shorter monitor, that's already wider. Do you see the 3 inches on each side that this monitor already is bigger than this one? So this is the C30 I've got next to it. Now I'm going to unplug some things. I'm going to transfer it over, and we'll probably open up a PC game here. One of my favorite PC games, ultra-wide, is going to be... Oh, I'm still here, Amazon. Every once in a while, they'll shut my stream down if they don't see me. Like, I shouldn't totally do this. There we go. Just trying to hook a cable up here. Try to do this live. I tell you, it's fun. So I'm going to put the 25-inch in the back row here. But if you want to see this thing again, let me know. Oh, and I keep forgetting. RGB on the back. How cool is that? So you've got RGB on this one. The C30, which we're looking at right now, is just a fantastic monitor. Couple things. It could use an adjustable stand. Right now, you got up or down. And it sits pretty low. You can see how low it is. If you get a monitor arm for this thing, fantastic upgrade for it. That problem goes away almost immediately. It does have a power brick. Most of these other ones just have an adapter. This one's going to have a power brick and a traditional power cord, which I'm about to hook up. Okay. Now you're going to see what happens with my Xbox. I think I still had it set right, so it's going to turn on. And then I'm going to show you what happens when you hook an advanced next-gen console to something like this. It stretches it. So it stretches it pretty badly. So now your horse has got a really big butt. No, so it's not bad, you know, but you're going to be looking at the view, and it's not going to be the ultra wide resolution. So a couple ways to fix that. We're going to go into the menu system real quick. So you can use it with a next-gen console, and you can go down here to aspect ratio. Let me see if I can pull you up on the side camera. Maybe you guys can see this monitor better that way. Here we go. So there's a monitor. I'm going down on the menu to aspect ratio. Got to go down one more. Right now it's full. I'm going to go down and I'm going to set it to either dot by dot or 16 by 9. Okay, so this is a great demonstration, and part of why I wanted to bring this demo up was this is how much extra room you get with an ultra-wide monitor. So when you're considering playing Fortnite or whatever, how would you like to see around the corner this much more? That's what you get with the C30 ultra wide. I'm just checking a look here real quick. My current setup isn't conducive for that big of a monitor. Ooh, Jeremy's saying he wanted a 49-inch ultra, but ended up with two 27s. I know the feeling, my friend. I'll talk about why I went with a 34 ultra back here. I could have gone bigger, but I did that. Christine, thank you so much for the follow. This is John the Net Guy. Christine Weatherly, thank you. She just followed on Amazon. If you're just tuning in right now, encourage you to give me that follow. I'm going to be back on Cyber Monday with even more deals, so I'd love you not to miss that. And John Bruce, thank you for the follow as well. I'm almost at 500 followers. I would love to break the 500 mark, so if we can do that, that's awesome. You guys are helping me out here as well. So a couple interesting things. Like I said, you're going to get that extra monitor space, but this monitor also has a ton of inputs, and one of the neat things that you can do with all those inputs, picture in a picture mode and picture by picture mode. So if you've got this much screen real estate and maybe you're waiting for your Xbox to update. I did this the other day. I had one app running a full screen and I pulled my Xbox up on the HDMI and I was actually able to see the Xbox updating and then put it away. So that was kind of a cool. It's got that feature in here, and it is literally on this one right here, it is $90 off. It is the most discounted monitor of today, and it comes in at $169. I've never seen that. That's less than $1 a hertz, because this thing goes up to 200 hertz refresh rate. Now, there's going to be some ghosting when you're at that high of a refresh rate. It went to cinematic. It doesn't actually have bars like that. Just bars on the side when you're in the 16:9 mode, which most game consoles are. Now, I think this game, when you do it on PC, I think this game actually does support the wider one, but I'm going to show you the wider one off of a PC. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to switch real quick to my PC. And who's lying? It's my daughter's PC. I stole her gaming machine. I was like, okay, hon, I got to take your gaming PC because I have to do a show. Dad's got to do a show. So I'm going to steal your gaming PC, but it was okay. So now you notice I still have the bars here, and that's actually my capture card doing that. So capture cards nowadays, they'll do a lot of 4K pass-through, but they often won't do high refresh, variable refresh, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go native here. I'm going to pull the cable from my capture card, and I'm just going to go native right to the PC. And then it's going to auto detect this monitor being an ultra wide, hopefully. And you're going to get to see a difference right away. So, guess it didn't auto detect. Oh, it did. What's funny is the monitor, I got to go in here. Remember how I set it to the bars? I'm going to go one more time. And I'm going to turn that 16:9 off. I'm going to go back to full. Okay, so now I've got the full width here. Now I'm not going to be able to play the game for you directly. Okay, kind of funny story. I got somebody in the chat that says, better take care of my PC. My daughter knows what I'm playing here. So I'm going to pull up a game right away. Just want to show you again. We're going to go to the Epic Game Launcher. I want to show you what the difference is when you're playing a game like Fortnite or something with an ultra-wide. I tried to play Microsoft Flight Sim, but it was like, please give me 3 days to update. And I'm like, okay, we're not waiting for that. But I can launch this one. I'm taking a look real quick. Jacob's checking back in. Jacob says, I have 250 followers and I don't do lives. I saw some nice 32 to 34 inch lately, but my mount only supports 30. Now, what's funny about monitor mounts is they're almost all dependent on weight. So double check. It may not be a limit of size. It may actually just be a limit of weight. And these things are not bad. Literally, I have to go pull the specs up of it, but this monitor is not much heavier than other ones. If you are going to go the Visa mounting route, I got to point this out because I have gotten so much feedback on one of my review videos. Don't lose this thing. It's in the packaging. It slips out of the way. It's really easy to miss. Please don't misplace this. This is your Visa mount adapter. So if you're going to use a monitor arm, like I've got cameras mounted on monitor arms. I got so many of them. You need one of these adapters for these monitors. There's a couple in here that you're going to need that adapter for. So don't lose them, please. If you did misplace them, contact Sceptre. They were not going to leave you hanging. I have heard some good stories about them helping people out. So I love to hear that. So we're taking a look here now at Fortnite. Now, unfortunately, I have to look at it this way. So you can see how wide this view is already. Isn't that awesome? Wait till you start playing a game like Fortnite and you're at this wide of a view. So if somebody wants me to play a public game, I'm going to play a private game just because I don't want to get my butt kicked on this. Now, a VA panel, there's going to be a little bit of color shift. So see how dark that blue is, I guess? See how it kind of doesn't stay blue? My wife noticed this on the orange. When she walked up, she's like, oh, the orange is more yellowish, right? I'm like, no, it's actually orange. It's just the color shift of the angle that you're at. If you guys are taking a look now, I'm going to pull up the one that we actually have right now. So this is the Sceptre one. Over here, I put all the stats of the monitor so you can see it real quick. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to start. And then I'm going to show you what it's like to see Fortnite. And I can't even get this whole monitor in the frame. It's so big. So this is Fortnite, and we're playing it ultra wide. So when you're coming up on a corner and you want to peek a corner, I'm not even to the edge, and I'm already peeked all the way around. So remember, this area here of the monitor is not there on the regular game. It's almost cheating, guys. Most games will let you adjust the field of view. So a lot of times, this is the same thing as like a 32-inch, just shorter, or 27, just shorter. But the way that they do that, they adjust the field of view so it doesn't look too cartoonish. But look how small your character is versus the whole world. So it can be pretty cool. We'll do some building. And yes, Belle, I am going to play Fortnite with you afterward. It's really scary. She kicks my behind. That's the nice way to say it in Fortnite terms. Uh-oh. Okay, didn't hurt myself too bad. But we're taking a look at the 200 hertz refresh rate Sceptre ultra wide here. Now, brightness, this one's a tiny bit lower on the brightness. There are different models of this. You got to be really careful in the model number. So this is the UN1 right there, just pointing that out. This is what I pulled from the stats. Again, check the stats on Amazon just to be certain. The resolution on this is really kind of fun too. It's a 2560, but not by 1440, which you'd expect on a 1440p. It's by 1080, so it's just same width resolution, just a little bit shorter. Okay, I gotta pull my toys out here. So yeah, it's a little bit of a different resolution than you're normally used to, but the nice thing is it's really super easy on graphics cards. So if you want to get close to that 200 hertz, now what I recommend, even though this thing can do 200, the ghosting, it's pretty obvious when you get to that refresh rate. Set it to 180, 165, or 144, and just enjoy the heck out of this monitor. It's one of my favorites. And at 169, I've got it pulled up on the carousel right now. At 169 bucks, you can't go wrong with this thing. I promise. It's such a great monitor. There are some things about it, like on the back side, RGB. So you got, well, sorry, I said that in my review video. Everybody gets me. R. It doesn't have GB, it just has red. So it has the red LED lighting on the back. That doesn't come across, unfortunately, really cleanly in the studio lights, but it is pretty good looking. It's a curved monitor. And let me see if I can find a way to show you what a curved monitor looks like in a flat studio here. Take a look at that. So I'm going to set it down and see if I can get the whole monitor in set here. So there's a pretty pronounced curve to this thing, right? I love this for competitive gaming. I love the curved monitors. I think they're really, really good. Your eyes don't get as, I think personally, I don't think they get as tired when you're looking at a curved monitor because your hyperfocal distance of your eyes stays the same. It doesn't have to be, going in and out of focus. So just that little tiny bit of curve seems to be enough to really make this a fun gaming one. Like I said, the OSD, the on-screen display, I said that in my reviews on these, it's getting a little dated. Some other manufacturers do have a little bit more updated UIs. What's interesting about this, though, is I ran for 4 months. They let me keep one of their creator monitors, and I just love the thing. I was editing videos, doing all sorts of stuff. and maybe once a day I'll switch inputs. So I have a KVM switch, so I really didn't need to use it that often. So really, it wasn't that annoying. And you can go directly to volume buttons, and you can go to input buttons directly on the bottom. So if you need to go to an input, you just hit the input button. You can go up and down. So it does work that way. Another, again, feature of this one is the picture by picture. I do have to bring up the Amazon on this one to show you this because it's such a great monitor. And it's such a great deal on this. Let me know if you're ultra curious because I was for a while, and this ultra wide sold me on it because I'm going to bring this up for you guys to see. And this is the 30 inch. What's funny, I was looking at all of these and I literally have a monitor for like pretty much every size here. I've got 24, 25, 27, 30, 32, and 34. I don't think I've seen that many monitors in one show, but welcome to my life. So, oh my gosh, they're out of stock on this one. You know, what's cool about this is Amazon is letting you buy it at the lower price and they will ship it when they get the stock on this one. So this is the 305. Let me make sure I did not, sorry, put this in my cart wrong. C305B UN 200 UN. Let's see if that one is available. Okay, so that's the UN. I want to double check what this one is. That's a different monitor company. So yeah, I'll have to take a look. That is the danger we run here, and I will double check when I get a break here in a second. But that is the danger we run on some of these deals on Black Friday, is that they are just so popular. You're going to be fighting for stock and quantity on these ones. So that's the one that I have here, is the UN model. There are, again, small variations in brightness and capability. This one has the picture in a picture. Color accuracy, not as good as some of the other monitors. I'm going to show you a Creator's ultra wide before we end today. It's the one I use. It's back here. It's not curved. It's 34 inches. So if you're looking for something a little bit bigger, it has a little bit higher resolution. So we'll talk about that when we get to that monitor. So if there's a choice right now between the C30 for you, which again, you can put in an order here and have it ship when it arrives, or a C34 back here, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, the 34 inch, you get a little bit more screen real estate out of this one. It's not curved and it doesn't have the high refresh. It's only, I think, 100 hertz refresh max. But if that doesn't bother you, great monitor as well. Brian Humphrey is asking, how is this on a PS5 on Amazon chat? Thank you so much, Brian, for checking in. Make sure you hit that follow button before you leave. Just so you know, I'm going to be back here on Monday. I'd love to talk to you some more about that. I have an Xbox One Series X. It's going to be almost identical. So this one is going to do 1080p, and because we talked about the resolution, it's 1920 by 1080. If you do the 16 by 9, you're going to get exact dot-to-dot performance here. If you have a PC, it's going to stretch and go wider, but none of the consoles, even the next-gen ones that I've seen, do 21 by 9 ultra-wide resolution. So that's a drawback. The good news is you can plug in a high refresh rate video game console, and it's going to run at the higher refresh rates. It's going to do all the fancy stuff in there. So great question as well. I see lots of people in here talking away. Your stream made them sell out. Well, let's hope, Jeremy. Jeremy says your stream made them sell out. I hope I sold all of them for it. One of my friends, Zachary, broke away from work for a few minutes. Some people working on Friday, Black Friday, that is just wrong. Let me know if I need to talk to your work about that. Let's take a look here. We're going to go through a couple more monitors. I do have to talk about one more deal before it sells out. I'm going to pull this up on the Amazon because I don't want you guys to miss this one. If you have kids and ultra refresh rates are not your bag, you're not worried about that, there's a monitor right now that I've done for business. This is one that I recommend a lot to businesses that just need a really good 24-inch, color accurate, bright enough, full HD monitor. Especially if you're going to put this thing on a stand or some sort of monitor mount. And I can't tell you how many of these I've probably sold through recommendations. I cannot believe this deal thing wants to keep popping up on here. But it's a great deal is what it's telling you. I just don't want to have that in my stream. But yeah, it's a great price. I haven't seen it this low before. It's $89.97 for a 24-inch. This one, again, also has speakers built in. And if you take a Fire Stick, which they're blowing them out, and you plug a Fire Stick into one of the inputs, your kids now have a smart TV and a computer monitor in their room or wherever you wanted to have it. So that was a really cool thing. $89.97 for a 24-inch. A lot of times kids can't have a 32 on their desk, right? If you're going to look for one of those options. So that is a fantastic deal here. Like I said, I've not seen it this price before, which again tells me something. They are definitely making all the stops here for Black Friday. I really do appreciate that. Now, if you do pick up one of these 24s, I do get a tiny bit of a commission if you use my links that you saw down below. So I do appreciate that. Thank you guys again on that one. I don't want you to miss that one, so I put that in the carousel as well, and I've just highlighted it in the carousel. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. I am doing a show for these guys, Sceptre monitors, and they asked me to show you all of their latest and greatest super high refresh rate, great color accurate displays, ultra wides, 16:9s. We're going to do it all today. Let me pull up the graphic real quick and you guys can see some of the stuff that's coming up. So we talked about the left one. That was the 30-inch curved VA panel. Now, the claim to fame on this one, best budget ultra wide in my opinion. Really just takes the cake on that. Does have a max refresh of 200 hertz. I'd recommend bump that down to 165. You'll get almost no ghosting and you're going to love it. You can go up to 200 depending on the contrast and all the stuff on your game. So we also take a look at the 25-inch TN panel. That's how they're getting the price and the performance out of this one. 165 hertz, full HD TN panel. That's a budget gamer. So that's about $40 more than the one I just showed you, which was the 24-inch non-gaming one. It's just an extra one I threw in the stream. So $40 more buys you a ton of extra gaming features. One other thing that I got to point out too, while you may upgrade your gaming machine 100 times, here and there, adding components, your monitor is one of those things you invest in a lot of times once, twice, 3 times in, a decade. So you're not usually replacing these very often. So if you buy one of these higher quality monitors, you're going to be able to keep that as you go up video cards. With the multiple inputs that we have, the HDMI, the new DisplayPort, the high number versions of the DisplayPort, these monitors are going to last quite a long time. I've been really, really happy with it. All of my Sceptre monitors have done really well for me. So that's the C30. I'm going to have to keep moving on though, because otherwise we'll be here all day and a half. I'm going to pull up a very affordable 27. So we talked about the 25 back there. We talked about the 30-inch ultra wide. If you want something that's a little bit larger, really easy on the graphics card, but also is going to have a super high refresh rate. This is now, we're in the 240 hertz refresh rate club. I know. I got into the 200 hertz monitor here and I thought that was exciting. We're going to go to 240 hertz here. Now this is your competitive first person gaming monitor. Now I actually messed up when I put the specs in on this thing. I thought it just had tilt because of the base of the stand. I thought it was one of their other models of their stands. This actually has a really decent amount of vertical adjustment. So you may not need a monitor arm. There's your kid setting. You come, dad's working, basketball players working. You've got all these different ones. Let me show you the back side of this real quick too. So it's going to have your standard cable holder there, and it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs. 3 of them are HDMI, 1 of them's DisplayPort. That's really common. You'll see that until we get to some of the other monitors here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the HDMI, and we'll get this thing up here. I'll show you another page that I highly recommend you go to. And it's going to be hard to show it because there's just one thing I got to do here real quick. If you get one of these higher refresh rate monitors, I've seen a mistake people commonly make, because it's really easy to do, which is they don't tell their computer to take advantage of the high refresh rate. So they think they're getting this great refresh rate, and they don't actually set it up properly to take advantage of that. So we're going to do this. Monitor's just turning on. Oh, let me show you this first. Okay, so you're not going to get to see the coolness that is the RGB on that camera, because that camera washes out. I don't know why. It washes out colors, but there you go. So this has got some pretty epic RGB. Now the RGB is chasing in there. I think you've got some other patterns you can choose from the on-screen display. But there we go. So this is going to be your traditional 16:9. This is going to work with your Xbox One. So this is going to work with your Xbox One Series X, and you're going to get the high refresh, 120 hertz. It's not going to do 4K, but this is a full HD panel, so it's kind of an interesting trade-off. Let me put the specs up here on the side. That's the one that's coming up next. So this is the 27-inch VA panel. It is 1080p. So if you have an older graphics card, maybe you haven't taken advantage of those really sweet GPU prices that are going down right now, this is a fantastic deal. And it also happens to also be 28% off. I want to get you the right numbers here because I have to. Retail on this one is $249.97, which is a fantastic deal for a 240 hertz monitor. It's about $1 a hertz. It is $70 off, it looks like. And actually, I got to go double check the Amazon. Yep, so it's $70 off. It is $179.97. So if you want to spend a tiny bit more and get to that 3 inches larger screen and 240 hertz, go with a VA instead of a TN panel, this is a great one. So this is going to be for your first person shooter gamers. So you're playing Warzone, you're playing Apex, you're playing anything that you can really run at super high refresh rates and you're playing competitively, you're going to need something that's super fast. Does have 300 nits of brightness, which to me is a very solid gaming brightness level. I like that level of brightness. That's going to work good. I'm in a bright studio right now. And to be honest, I have to turn some of these monitors down. When I show them, I turn some of these monitors that have 300 nits, I turn them down quite a bit. Now the colors are not going to look as good on this one until I do that on this one as well. So let me go do that. That's just a factor of my cameras here. So I'm on the standard preset. I'm going to change that. We're going to go up here to the user preset. I'm going to go up to brightness. It was on 80% backlight already. I'm going to turn the backlight down, and you're going to notice the color come back right away. And that's just because my cameras here don't pick up color real well when it's super bright. So there's that. And actually, if I turn it to this side screen, you're going to see how much even better the colors look. So a VA panel is going to, the colors are going to wash out as you go to the side. So your view angle, still viewable, right? It's just the blues come right in as you get forward, right? So that's a little bit what they're talking about view angles. So it does have a very wide view angle, but the colors are going to shift a little bit on a VA panel, more than they would on an IPS panel. So that's another thing. Oh my gosh, I forgot. This one also has tilt. So the bottom is staying together. So what I put up on the comparison slide, ignore that. I said tilt only on this one. I'll correct that for Monday's show, but this is fully adjustable in my opinion. So this is a great deal. We're looking at the third column here on this one, the E275, 27-inch VA. It's got tilt. It is going to be for that competitive gamer out there. Taking a look real quick. I rarely game these days except for my Quest 2. I've been nearly good at even a 60 hertz, worth a small upgrade. Exactly. And Brian, thank you for the follow. I totally guilted you into that. Sorry, my friend. But yeah, I appreciate it. That is awesome. And Glinster coming in on a Black Friday. This is the Sceptre monitor showcase today for Black Friday. We're halfway through the monitor lineup I've got for today, but this is one that's probably going to be the most gamer-centric, I would say. This is your 27-inch 240 hertz VA panel for $179 right now. That's what I've got up in the carousel. Let me hit the web page first, and then let's go play a game that might take advantage of this, right? I want to see what we've got loaded up in the queue here. So I'm just going to pull up the Amazon page for this one. I'll bring it side by side so maybe I can zoom in on the things that are important here. So $179, that's awesome. We like that. Decent monitor. Just looking through some of the specs. We talked about the refresh rate, but the other thing is you can have a super high refresh rate unless you're at 1 millisecond. If you're like 5 milliseconds, which was the original 30-inch, 200 hertz is exactly the time where it's switching the screen. So the refresh rate and response times have to work together. You have to have a response time that's faster than 1 second divided into it. So this thing's changing 1,000 times a second essentially. So 240 hertz, you're going to get those 4 frames for every one that it's changing. That's pretty decent response time. 99% of sRGB, again, if you're going to do some light creation work, you can't bring saturation into a cheap monitor. So if you had a cheap monitor that's not saturated enough, you can't, even through calibration, make saturation come in. So this has that saturation of the sRGB space, so it's going to look really good. This is really important if you're playing, World of Warcraft, some of these immersive open world games. I really love when they've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's another one that's got really good color. So, some of these games where you're getting in there and you're in these environments, whether they're dark, whether they're light, really like to see that high color gamut here on these monitors. Double check in, and this is one that's really hard for me to show you on the show, so I'm just going to use the Amazon page to do it. It's got a display port up to 240, HDMI up to 240, and then 144. So we're seeing a lot more of these inputs that are doing 144 on the second and third input, which is great, or fourth input, I should say, which is awesome. Brian did the follow. Thank you so much. And Shopaholic, glad to have you aboard here. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a look real quick at my YouTube and others chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. I do have to point this out because Jeremy's so right. He says RGB makes everything better. Isn't that the truth? It does. Absolutely. Thank you guys that are tuning in, by the way, on a Black Friday event for Sceptre. Let's go take a look. I want to, because we're on a Xbox, I'm going to show you a couple settings on that one, and I'm going to show you the settings for the PC. So let me do the PC first real quick here. If you get one of these really slick, ultra fast refresh gaming monitors, one of the things you got to make sure you do is go into the advanced, I'm going to just pull it up here, advanced display settings, advanced display info. And I'm going to try to get this over as far as I can without pulling the cords out of my computer. And I'm going to bring it up on the side for you. That's the page, and that's what it looks like. There's a setting right here. Now, this is the problem. This is exactly what I was telling you about. Mine is sitting at 60 hertz right now. So I plugged the monitor in. I've been plugging in monitors in and out. This thing only went to 60 hertz. Now when I go to 165, and sorry for the glare on there, now it says keep display settings. So I'm on the right input, so now I can do 165. Let's bring up the Edge browser, and we're going to do the UFO test. Ghosting. So this is the UFO test. This is going to, now again, this is not going to work over cameras. But what it's supposed to show, and it's getting locked in and it's doing the test here, is this top line here is ghosting. This one's, I'm getting some stutters in here too. So what it's showing you is the ghosting level on the monitor. Now you're going to see a little bit of that. When I do my full reviews, I take a high-speed camera and I take a picture of it, and I can show you the pixels as they're shifting. So why did I not see, since you guys are asking, why did I not see 240? I do see 240 on this one. Oh, am I on the right one? Is this my, I got a 3070 dialed into this. Let's go do that. Let's go to 240. If you don't see the proper refresh rate, if you don't see 240 hertz, try the other input. You're probably on one of the HDMI inputs that doesn't do that. It's going to have a trouble synchronizing this at that speed. But that's what we're talking about when we say ghosting. A monitor that's ghosting is going to have a little bit of a smear. It's very common, and it has to happen just the way monitor technologies work. What we try to do is they do things like overdriving to limit it. So when you go in the menus, you're going to have an overdrive setting, and that's usually where you can start to minimize any of the ghosting that you're going to see. So that's one aspect. I am going to unplug this from the PC. We're going to switch back to the Xbox. So for all you console gamers out there, one thing I love about having a ton of inputs is you can switch back and forth, and it's no biggie, right? So we were playing Red Dead Redemption last we left our scene. Oh, it's become night now. And one thing I'm noticing... Okay, let's see where this guy is. Do we really want to... What happened to this guy? He needs... I don't know if you heard the speakers on there, but this actually has speakers. You can control the volume on the on-screen display here. But we're playing a little Red Dead Redemption on it. Now, if you do have a high refresh rate TV or monitor like this, hit settings button. Where is it? Down to settings. Go into TV and display options. Go to video modes. It's going to have all of the different refresh rates that you have in here. So video, I'm trying to see if I've got mine. I don't know if I have this one set right, and I've swapped it out a couple times. I'd have to probably reset it. But you'll be able to pick 120 hertz refresh rate on this. So you're going to get the high refresh rate. Just make sure when you have your video modes, you have it all set right. And sometimes, depending on the color depth that you choose, you know, certain things will not show or will show up. So that's another interesting thing. So that's a place to go in. We'll check that one more time when we bring up our next monitor. Show you guys that as well. So there you go. I don't know what this guy's... Oh, he's in prison outfit. That's what I just noticed. He's in prison garb. We definitely don't want to deal with this guy. He's going to get us in trouble, I can tell. So there we go. Have you tested 2K and 4K monitors? I'm interested in the difference between 2K and 4K with Sceptre. I'm trying to think if I've had a Sceptre 4K monitor yet. I don't think I have. I've had LGs and I had a few other 4Ks. Honestly, unless you're doing heavy duty creation, the pixel pitch. Now, I'm using this monitor right now. It's 27 inches and it's full HD. You can see the pixels if you get right up on it, but most people are not doing that for a game, right? We call it pixel peeping. You're not looking that close. So I've had iMacs that are 27 inches and 5K, and they're great. They're beautiful displays, but they don't game for anything. So it's a really good question. I want to answer your question honestly, Shopaholic. I have not seen their 4K displays. Maybe that's something I'll have to talk to my contacts at Sceptre and say, hey, let's send me a 4K display out and I'll show you some creation. But I'm going to show you some creation on my 3440 by 1440. So that's like 80% of 4K there. It's a little bit more, and that's the ultra wide I have here. But honestly, in the I got to say this correctly because there's so many numbers. In the 27-inch size, if you're going to do creation, you're going to do photo editing, anything that requires fine text detail, look for 1440p. If you're going to primarily game, this monitor is targeted at primarily gamers. Let me pull the specs up on this one real quick so you can see it while we're talking about it. I believe it is this guy. Yeah, there it is. I got it on the right side even. Okay, so we're talking about this monitor here. This is the 1080p, but it's the high refresh rate. So this is something where somebody said, okay, and Linus and others have done tests on this. Actual resolution for gaming doesn't matter as much as refresh rate. So refresh rate is what's important if you want to have that little distinct advantage. So for editing, he says not gaming for, or they say not gaming for editing. So absolutely, yep. Tons more options for 2K and the size I want, so I wanted to get your opinion on it. Yeah, absolutely. 4K, and like I said, I'll see if I can get a 4K in and do some tests on it. It really is a specialized monitor size. I would say that you may want to consider an ultra wide if you're doing video editing. One of the things I'll show here is how I'm starting to video edit on ultra wide, and it's game changing. It's really cool. If you're going to do photo editing, more than the 4K versus 2K, I'd get a pre-calibrated monitor. So Scepter's got some really good IPS. The one that I'm going to pull up next is a 32, but it's in the same series. That is one of my best creator monitors. I used it for 4 months editing, and that one is a 2K at a 27, and it's fantastic. The colors come out, and you calibrate it, and you almost don't have to change anything. So that's really cool. And come back in on Monday, Shopaholic, by the way. Reminder, and thank you for the follow. Come back in on Monday. I'm going to bring up, you talked about doing creating. Let's talk about this. So every monitor that I usually get in here, I will pull the data color spider out. So this is a monitor calibrator, but I've got the expert ultimate, whatever version it is, that'll actually do the display analysis. We're going to do a display analysis on all these since I got them unboxed in here, and you're going to get to see the difference. So let me do the display analysis. I think I might even have the other 27 here. Let me know what size you're looking for, Shopaholic, on that one. Are you looking for a 27 or a 32-inch 4K? And are you looking for 1 or 2 monitors? Because sometimes when you're doing creation, you know, 2K monitors might give you the real estate you need. So let me know on that. We'll take a look at it. But this one is primarily targeted at gamers. This is the 27-inch 240 hertz. We talked about playing on Xbox. You can do that. PC just as well. I like ultra wides for flight simulators and stuff, but this is definitely going to be your Warzone, Apex, and all those types of games. So we're looking there. I'm going to take one quick look at the chat here. So Brian checks in. He says, I've actually been considering this one for a PS5. I would mostly play Call of Duty. Now, PS5 and Xbox, check with me later, but I believe, and maybe Monday we'll take a look at it. Most of those PS5s, Xbox, they'll only go to 120. They don't go to 240. So if you're going to be playing a console, that would be good as well. Jacob's checking in, says, I might look at the 2K myself. You know, honestly, I'll pull it up here right before we end the stream just so I can show you that one because it is a fantastic monitor. It's over 450 nits of brightness. Now, you don't edit at 450 because it's so bright, but man, it makes it, if you're in a bright room when you're editing, maybe you got a big window, it's really nice to have that brightness to combat that. So just taking a look there, make sure I don't miss anything. We're going to scoot along to the next monitor. Now, this one I have not unboxed. You're going to get to see a live unboxing here. So wish me luck that everything goes the way it should. This one is a 32 IPS display. This one comes from the same lineage that the, let me hide that. This one comes from the same lineage of that 27 that I'm thinking of, the 2K27 IPS. I used it for 4 months and it was amazing. but it's going to have the super high refresh. So let's go back to the monitor list here. So there's this 32 QPN 168. Now, be super duper careful when you're buying these that you get the exact model numbers down. Definitely use my links if you can. Use the carousel if you can. And we're going to go to this next monitor on the carousel right now. And there's two versions. There's the QPN 168 Plus, and then there's the QPN 168. What's interesting about the QPN 168 Plus is it has borders around it. It has a shield for your gaming. Now I'm going to pull all these out of here, and we're going to go get this thing and start to do an unbox live here. Wish me luck. I'm going to go ahead and be real careful. Another thing, I did an unbox video of this earlier today. I recorded it. It'll come out on my channel in a little while. There's a little button here. You push this up, and then the panel comes free of the stand. And that's where you're going to use your Visa mount we talked about earlier. Be super careful when you're carrying these kind of monitors around that have the super quick release like that you don't accidentally pick up and lift this off and then drop your monitor. I have done something similar, so I just wanted to give you that warning. And I'm going to put this down over here. And then I'm going to grab the monitor that we have not unboxed yet today. This is the monster itself. This is a 32-inch. Now, I'm calling this a competitive gamer monitor, but it is an IPS display. So we talked a little bit about that. This is that creator that also games. So maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. You know what? There's no time like the present. I'm telling you, that's what everybody wants to be when they grow up as a YouTuber. I think my stepson actually is working on that as well. He's definitely putting the time in. Let's put it that way. So this is a 32-inch. I'm going to start to unbox it here for you guys. And we're going to see how Sceptre packages their stuff. Most of the monitors are going to be identical to this. I'll tell you where they differ, but it's really easy to set up. You know, that's the nice thing about it is they come incredibly well packaged too. So pulling these out here. If you're just tuning in, this is John, the Net Guy. We're doing a Black Friday / Cyber Monday event. Okay, now you probably can't even see me anymore. This monitor's so big. I'm pulling out the pieces here. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do on this one, and this is what I highly recommend, is to slide these things out whenever you can. Now, this is not a curved monitor, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach in and I'm going to slide the whole monitor out on this. Makes assembly a lot easier. Okay, now what you can also do is when you're sliding this out, make sure that you have this side up. You'll know right away because when you reach in, you're going to feel that. So I'm taking some of these shields off. Looks like they slip down. I'll put those over to the side. Wow, there's a lot of parts here. So this is that monstrous stand. So this is the same as their 27 panel, except all the dimensions are slightly bigger, I'm noticing real quick. So I'm going to pull this off to the side a little bit. And then this is the base, which is massive. It's got some weight to it. I'm noticing that right away too. And everything is packaged. It's got some, clear plastic over it. Now, I may not take that off because honestly, I don't get to keep these monitors, sadly. They go back to the queue at Sceptre. Now, some of them I've cried a little bit because I didn't get to keep them. I might have embarrassed myself on some. This is the important thing to look at when you're on these. I'm just going to double check the chat. I always open mine on the bed. That's awesome. I love it. And then Jacob's saying, my daughters keep begging to work with me. Price is similar to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Great question. I can't guarantee the pricing. I don't know the pricing. I can tell you, I think the pricing is going to be the same if I had to guess right, but I'm going to be really worried about the stock because, again, a lot of these things were supply chain limited. So I'd be really worried that if you do find a monitor and you want to wait till Monday to buy it, that it might change. So I do like the return policy with Amazon. I will freely admit if I get something and it's not like I expected it to be, I will return it. That's just me, regardless of the vendor. So one thing I do tell people is when you're setting these things up, and you probably can, oh, you can see it, perfect, okay, is keep the monitor in the lower part. It works really, really well. Then you can use the box kind of as your leverage. Now, I'm telling you, you're going to start collecting these once you once you see this. Let me pull up on the picture in a picture here so you guys can see me. I'm going to go through and I'm going to attach the screws for this one to the monitor itself. So there are 4 screws. I'm just double checking. You know what? On this one, because it has longer screws than I expected on that, let me double check here. Don't want to put a long screw in there. I'm going to go through the install instructions. So this is a little bit different than I'm normally used to. Okay, so it is the screws that I was looking at. The 4 neck screws they're talking about. It is a 75 by 75 pattern, if you're looking at that real quick. So 75 by 75 pattern on the Visa. So usually when you buy Visa mounts, they're going to do 100 by 100 or 75 by 75. Some will do both. And so that's all you're looking for. Yeah, this is going to work out perfect. Couple other quick things while I'm putting this together. A little bit different on this one is the I/O inputs face out. I do like that, honestly, better than the ones that face in. Makes it a little bit harder to put up against a wall as flush, but it makes it a whole lot easier if you're like me and you switch inputs a lot and you're plugging things in and out doing reviews. So that's a little bit there. Taking a look at the chat real quick. Oh, hey, Jonathan Talks Hardware. He's here. Another one of our favorite local YouTubers. I shouldn't say local. One of my favorite YouTubers. He's in the Southeast. Thank you so much for joining. I saw some of your Thanksgiving pictures, man. It looked like a good spread. So glad to have you here. We are on the second to last Sceptre monitor here on their live stream. If you're just tuning in, by the way, this is John the Net Guy. I do all sorts of cool stuff from PC builds to tech reviews to monitor reviews. And right now we're just assembling very quickly this Sceptre monitor. Man, I wish I could give away these, you know. This is such an amazing monitor here. I have very high hopes for this. Now what I'm doing here, and it's going to be harder to see on the overhead, is I'm sliding in this bottom piece, and there's 2 screws that go on the bottom. So far, all metal construction. I have seen some of the cheaper monitors have plastic, but this is all metal. So you're definitely getting a premium here. This is the IPS panel on this one. And the nits of brightness. We're going to do all of the cool data color testing. If you're really curious about that nerdy stuff, we're going to do all of that on Monday. I'm going to pull the data color out. I'll show you how I do my calibrations. If I'm going to do video editing on something, I'll do that. This, if I remember right, is a clip that goes over the front. And you know what? I should have put that in before I put that. Okay, now you know. I want to give this monitor its best show. I'll give you guys time to ask questions here. But I'll show you what I was doing when I get done here. Which there's a little plastic cover that gives you, it's kind of like a little tiny piece of trim. And I want to make sure I get it on here just to give the monitor the best showing I can. Don't worry, my editors will cut that out of the video. So we're going to put this little plastic trim piece. Here's what I'll show you where it was. So this little plastic trim piece goes over this, it looks like, when this is all put together. And it hides that joint, or gives it a little bit more aesthetic interest. So I'm going to go ahead and put that. That's what I get for not following the instructions exactly. So there we go. It does come with instructions. I've put so many of these together. I really just wanted to make sure on that screw size. This is the next thing I'm curious about because it does have these panels that go on the sides. Now, if you buy the non-plus model, let me see if I can pull up which one this is. So we're going to pull up, this is second to last monitor. That's the wrong side. Let's do second to last monitor on that side. So this is the E235B QPN 168 Plus. I know, that's word salad there. But the plus on this one means it comes with the gaming shields on the side. You know, I noticed one other thing that it comes with, which is huge. I'll talk about this in a second. Just looking at it this way. Oh, and I just totally hit my top-down camera, but yeah, there we go. This also has direct power right into it. So let me pull this off. So this does not have a power adapter. Look at the size of this monitor. This thing is huge. It is glaring off my lights already in the studio, so I'll play with this until we get it right. There you go. Now you guys can see yourselves over there. But yeah, wow, what a big monitor this is. This thing is enormous. Now, I'm going to go to the side monitors, or sorry, to the side display here, and I'm going to show you a couple things about it. You see these holes right here? There's a dot there, dot there. That is actually the mounts that on the other ones, the non-plus, that you don't use. Now, they've included, if you decide not to use the shields, they've included these little fillers that you can put in to fill the holes. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try to follow the instructions exactly, because I think if I don't, I'm going to be in trouble. There you go. You get a reflection in this thing. So it does have a glossy display. I was just real quickly looking for a peel. It does have a peel. Okay, so this is a pretty big peel off. Are you guys ready for this? I don't know if you're going to get the sound. Okay. Okay. I'm just pulling it up from the bottom. It does go below the fold there. There we go. Sorry for the noise. But yeah, that's that's what happens when you take it off. Then you don't get that glare, so that's pretty cool. It actually reduces the glare a ton. So you can see it's got that matte finish. That's one of the drawbacks I've had with the i series, the iMac, the other ones. Is that my 271440 Pinky Tech? Another great YouTuber showing up today. He bought 2 of this model in 27. So Pinky, to answer your question, this is the 32 they just sent me of your monitor. Now it's the same exact brightness, same exact specs, but now in a 32 because bigger is always better, right? So this thing is huge, but it is the exact same model. You have the E275B, which is another great option. And I did put that in the carousel just because I knew that some people, if they couldn't go 32, it's really nice. So Pinky goes, gonna need an upgrade. Yes, you are. Lots of cool things about this right away. First, again, super high range of motion here. Has a built-in tilt. Notice the bottom of the stand's not moving. Also has tilt sideways. Now, if you're a programmer, you can go full vertical on this thing if you want, and that's a real common thing. But this one is really, truly made for gamers. Now, keep me honest here, but we're going to have to go through and build this together. This is my first time building with the side covers, and so I'm going to follow the same instructions you have. Obtain the 3 smaller pieces and connect them by attaching. Okay, so the top cover comes in 3 pieces. Yeah, because the monitor's so big. And attach those together and then slide them on, and then we do the sides. Okay, I think I got this figured out. Let's see if we can pull this off. If you're just tuning in for the first time, by the way, this is John the Net Guy. We are live on Amazon and elsewhere. We're taking a look at the Sceptre 32-inch IPS display. It's a fantastic display. Tons of room. So Randy says, uh-oh, I got to buy it now because I wrinkled the screen protector. No, I think they're going to let me return it. I just got to make sure I put everything back when I return it. I always worry about that. Streamers like their monitors for vertical chat. You know, Jonathan, I am ashamed to admit that I did not even think about that yet. I have thought about it a little bit, but that would be a fantastic use case for this monitor. I'm loving that idea. I'm trying to see how this slides on. It looks like it wings up. I want to make sure I get this right. Does that go on this side? No, it can't go on that side. So let's take a look here. So they're saying they slide into position. So if I get this like so, oh, you know what? I had it and I just didn't think about it. So I'm going to go top down so you guys can see this. So I just took these and I slid them together. So just slide straight in and back. And that latched. Okay, so this thing is so literally so wide. I don't think they could have shoved this in the box. So this is 3 pieces. I'm putting it together now. So just sliding straight in. See if I got this right. I got to learn how to do this live on the show, right? Okay, I see where I'm supposed to go. There we go. There we go. Now we're attached. Okay, so it says to then take these screws that are here and attach the top first. So we're going to go back out wide, and I'll do that. Lots of cool people here. I see all of my creator friends decided to show up today. Thank you guys so much. Had a couple questions. What did you have for Turkey Day? I saw a funniest thing last night on Instagram. I think it was Instagram or, reels of some sort. And the guy was so funny. He goes, let's say you get a new promotion, new job, whatever. You're celebrating, you're doing whatever. He goes, nobody ever picks turkey, right? Have you ever gone to a wedding and they're like, hey, we're going to do turkey? It's like, no, turkey's like your comfort food, right? But let me know what you guys did. I saw some people that were mean on my Discord. It was like mine. It was the Discord that I was on, and they sent pictures of some yummy food like prime rib. But let me know in the chat. I'll see if I can pull a couple of these good ones up. And what was your favorite side? I was on Twitter yesterday too, and some people were like, "If you had to get rid of one thing, what would you do?" So I'd love to hear about that. Oh man, wow. Prime rib dinner from Black Bear Diner. That's one of our locals here. Jeremy, that was awesome. I'm kind of jealous now. And Jacob, he smoked a prime rib. He says, I'm horrible at repacking stuff. Another great Amazon reviewer. You'll see Jake's reviews. He's in there a lot. You know what? I'm looking at this. They actually have these side wings I got to put on. They're actually adjustable. I never thought about that. But these ones are... Oh, that's pretty cool. So they're Sceptre branded as well. Talk about building a gaming battle station. Can you imagine like coming into somebody's place and they have these side guards? Now this monitor is so bright to begin with, you're not going to have to worry about glare usually. But once you put these on, you're not going to have to worry about glare ever. Now I'm going to do the right side here, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to do the left without getting myself into too much trouble. It looks like the top kind of indexes next to it, so it looks like there's a little gap. And yeah, so as the monitor's getting put together, just trying to get these all lined up. There we go. So I popped that in. There's little pins. It's weird. These are adjustable, but then they snap underneath the top lid. So I guess maybe if you wanted to have a side that was out, or somebody wanted to be able to show off one side, you could do that. So this is now locked in. You could see that. I can't wait to turn this thing on because I can only imagine the size of this display on these. 32 is big. You know, I've had a 40 that I did a review on from Sceptre as well. It's one of their big Nebula series, and that was like, am I reviewing a TV or am I reviewing the world's biggest monitor? Because those are big. Then you're just starting to compete here. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one locked in too on this side. So this, in all of its work, I have no idea where I'm going to put this when it's done, by the way. I may not have thought ahead about the size of this monitor. I'm kind of glad I didn't try to unbox it earlier. But let's go ahead and put this thing together. Now, if you see it and it's like, you're like, oh, that's not straight on the stand, John. You don't have this thing all put together. It's actually because the monitor rotates. Tons of versatility when we talk about this thing. So up and down, left, right, top handle for carrying, and you might need it because this thing's heavy. We're going to pull the specs up maybe even on Monday, but also has the rear inputs. It's going to have 4 inputs. 3 of them are HDMI. One of them is there. Pinky, I'm sorry, man. You and I both had turkey. We had turkey yesterday. That's what it was. Look at that. Oh, he's putting it all in there. So Jonathan Talks Hardware, stuffing, turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, black beans and rice, sticky buns, chicken, squash, and so much more. Man, I'm getting an invite to his place next time because that's pretty cool. Oh, I do have another note here that's being asked. You have to put it in your $10 rent storage facility. This is coming from an Arabella that's watching on the show right now. I may have had to pay my girls $10 to rent a space of their room to have all of these monitors. But, you know, honestly, I think I'm going to have to charge them now. Rent. Oh my gosh. Because these things are so cool. Maybe I'll even just let them use it. It's like, you want to use this monitor? Okay, that maybe is what I can do. My daughter is very, very dangerous when it comes to Fortnite. We're looking at doing some shows up here, maybe around Christmas, maybe do a giveaway show. A couple quick things on this one. Do not lose these Visa mounts. So if you can find a Visa mount strong enough to carry a monitor this big, these little screws, and let me show them on the side. These little screws here, don't lose those because you're going to be crying to me that you lost those and you didn't know. But those are the extensions that get the mount back far enough that you can use it with a traditional Visa mount. These are the little tiny plugs here that if you didn't want to have the sides of the monitor on, you would do that. I'm putting it all back in this box here. And then we're going to plug this thing in. So I've got my Xbox plugged in first. We're going to go with that one. Now, Xboxes will do 1440p. A lot of other ones will not. That's just something you have to remember. if you have one of the PlayStations and you're going to try to 1440 it, I think those are the ones that only do 1080 and 4K now. And honestly, not a lot of people I know are 4K gaming. Here we go. There we go. Plugged in. Plugged in here. I gotta make sure I got everything right. There we go. I got the red. I got the Sceptre logo. Okay, we're doing good. You know what's funny is if I didn't have this shield here, my upper light over here is already reflecting off of this, right? And it's actually doing a little bit of work. You can see how much it's cutting out from that really bright light. So there we go. Yeah, this is actually doing some stuff. So Red Dead Redemption. That's what it's coming up as because we're still on the Xbox. Gonna load this back up. Don't tell me. There we go. Okay. It's taking its sweet time. So I don't know if we help this guy or not. Should we talk to him? So what are our options? Let's see. I did hear the speakers, so I've got speakers already. Stay, flee, or follow. So we're going to follow. Oh, he left me. He said thanks for nothing. He says I was wasting his time. Well, let's get back on the horse. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I know it's going to be really hard for you guys to see this, but I am looking at the stars on this monitor, and that is so slick. Now, 2560 by 1440. So this is going to be, look at the stars on that, like the Milky Way. What a great view this is. Let's see. There we go. I can show you the Milky Way. Oh, perfect. Look at that star trail that's got there. So this is Red Dead Redemption. We're playing on a console here. This monitor, whether you're a console gamer, PC gamer, any of those, you can do that. Looks like my Forza Horizon also downloaded. So let's see how this thing does. Now, I apologize. You're going to be looking at a monitor getting recorded by a camera, but it's all I could do here today. I'm going to take it off of the preset modes. And I'm going to turn the brightness down, actually. So these things come in, and this one's going to have over 400 nits of brightness. But I want to be able to show it to you guys, and look at that. I'm already hearing the music from the game. It's already playing. And I'm going to turn the volume down. I'm going to see if I can start a game real quick and we can get driving. But this is one of just many uses of this you can have with the 4 inputs. You can have your PC plugged in. You can have your Xbox, PS5. You can have a laptop. You don't have to change anything. It's one button access on the back to change your inputs, which is really slick too. So let's see. Apparently I'm going to go right into a game. Let's see. Can I do that? Yeah, let's do that one. Let's see. I want to do that car. Let's go and drive. Let's select. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that one. Buy, sell, my festival. There we go. Stats. Okay. Let's do this. Come on. We'll get going there. I'm just double checking real quick, make sure I'm on time. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at a gaming monitor. Oh, here we go. Oh, man, this is what I love. So again, IPS display here. Beautiful color accuracy on this thing. I'm playing it like backwards, so I won't be able to see myself. There's my car. The sun reflections on these things. That's one of the things I love the most about Forza is just the way that the dynamics are on this. So ultra high refresh rate, which is awesome on this one. I think it's 144. We'll take a look at it. Super high brightness, very accurate, very deep color on this one. Like one of my other editors here, my other fellow YouTubers was talking about, he's got this monitor in the 27-inch variety. They're almost identical panel, identical model numbers except for the E275B. This is the 32-inch. This one is the Plus, the QPN 168 Plus. Oh, I'm just drifting off the road. And it has these sides, which are pretty cool. They're plastic, but they're definitely doing their job here, just cutting down the reflection that you'd normally have cast across the front of this monitor, which is pretty slick. So I'll store it for you for free, Jeremy comes back as. Yeah, you would. I think a lot of it. So pretty slick. I love that there. I'm going to double check real quick on the Amazon chat. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in here. 1 millisecond refresh. Great question on that. Let's take a look real quick. I stored an extra mattress in my girl's room at a company sent me once for a week, and she won't allow me to put anything in there anymore. Jake Reviews, another great Amazon and YouTube reviewer. He's dealing with the same thing I have. I got a full garage. I got so many products coming in, great products. But again, we were just taking a look real quick at this. I also want to pull it up on PC just to show real quick that this is not a gaming only system monitor. We'll pull it up the PC. We'll get that going. And then I'm going to pull it up on Amazon real quick. So this represents one of their highest tech monitors out there. So let's pull it up here. If you're concerned or wondering where do I find all these deals, one, you can visit the URL that's coming along below. It's also the carousel if you're on Amazon. Those are all linked as well. Or visit my show page here, thenetguy.com, and then visit the Sceptre Displays live event page. And this is the monitor we're checking out now. So somebody was asking about refresh rate. I want to pull that answer to that question up. Let's get that going. Whoa, that thing is so cool. Usually they have 1 millisecond, it's telling me in the title, but I want to show that. Now, it's hard for me to show you guys this RGB while we're live. Right now, it's fixed. It's a blue color on the back, but usually to do that, you go into the menu system. I'm also going to check the menu because there's one feature I want to see if it has. And I honestly have not started this thing up. Wow, the color is so rich on this. It is amazing when you see that color. Just going in there. It does have the multi-window. Okay. I don't know if I have enough HDMI cables, but I'm going to do it anyway. So bear with me if this experiment doesn't go well, because I want to show you guys something that has that really is unique. Again, most TVs aren't going to do this anymore, even though it was a popular TV feature. I'm going to go with 2 HDMIs. Normally I would do this with a DisplayPort and an HDMI. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 2 systems at the same time. I'm going to get the keyboard out here. Not saying you should stream snipe people, but I've got a Windows machine. You can see that there, right? Now I'm going to go through the menu and go to the picture menu on this one. I'm going to go down here to multi-window, and I'm going to turn multi-window to picture in a picture. So we're going to do that. Now, if everything worked right, I have a picture in a picture of the same source. So now I got to go fix this. So now that I've turned it on, the menu is going to be enabled for me to change all the settings. So the PIP, the secondary input, is going to be HDMI 2. The size is going to be medium. So you're going to get Xbox in the corner. So maybe you're stuck on that Zoom call. Maybe you're doing some schoolwork, whatever. You've got to watch a training. I'm not saying I would do this while watching a training. I just fired up my Xbox in a window in this big gaming monitor, and it's looking fantastic. Now, I can go in here and I can change some things a little bit. So I can go back here. I can go down to picture. There's one multi-window swap. I don't know if you can attach it to a single button, but look at this. I'll just hit this button. And now maybe I'm watching that Zoom call and it's not as important as my gaming session. So now I've got my gaming session going. Oh, I knocked the telephone pole down. I hate it when that happens. So I'm driving through the weeds here. This is Forza Horizon that I'm playing on an Xbox with the high refresh rate and everything. And I can go ahead and use my PC. I can bring stuff up on the PC. I can bring up a browser. Maybe I'm doing a little surfing. And you can change the size of these things. I just want to show you that here real quick. So I can go down to picture. Now I have it medium and top right. You can change both the size and location of it. I'm going to do large. So it made it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do bottom left. So maybe you don't need that start button. So now it's in the bottom left corner there as well. So really slick capabilities that we have here. So Brian, answering your question, yes, it does have a 1 millisecond refresh. Now, if you don't need these sides, I put in a model in the carousel that doesn't have the plus at the end. It's also, again, on super duper sale here. Let's go take a look at that one real quick. I just want to go on Amazon and make sure I'm giving you guys the best deal here. Let's go back out. Oh, my controller's vibrating the table. Let me get out of here. I'm going to share my Amazon one more time for you guys. So this is the Plus model. That's the one that has the sides. Let's show you the non-Plus model. I'm going to go back over here, go forward. I'm going to show you this one because it's also for sale on Black Friday, and it's a fantastic deal. I'm going to go ahead and put that up here at the top. So QPN 168, that's the important thing. If you want this and you don't really need the blocking sides, $199.97. It is exactly $80 off. I don't know if you could put two of these on a desk. And look at that, 30% off just popped up in my stuff, because it is. It's 30% off, $80 off, less than $200 for a 32-inch 2K monitor. Fantastic. It's in the gunmetal black. It is a 2021 monitor, it says here, but don't worry about that. It has all of the best tech features. I'm actually showing you picture-by-picture mode. Just want to see if it has, or sorry, picture in a picture. Let me see if I can switch to picture-by-picture, because this one always gets people. It's kind of funny. So maybe you need to have two games up. Maybe you're watching the game or something else. Now, I'd go in and I'd adjust your actual game resolution to match this, because here's what's going to happen. So it jams them together. Let's go on the side screen so you can see this. There's my two games playing side by side. Now, if you got an ultra-wide picture by picture, that's not so bad. That's actually going to look pretty good. It's going to be a little bit compressed, but, you know. So now I can do that, and I can page up and down on my PC side here. Ooh, Russell Wilson, is he playing? That guy. I'm a Seattle football fan, so yeah, I've got two different systems running here. And, you know, two different inputs. So that's another cool feature of the Sceptre monitors. I'm just checking the chat real fast. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. And we're going to go to the last monitor. And I'm going to try to find a place to put all these. Give me 1 second to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Because I got one more monitor to show you. And it's just actually sitting behind me. And this is my recommendation if you want a creator's monitor. So it's going to be harder to see this one because it is behind me here. But if you've been watching my channel or any of the videos, I did, between my editors, that I've got some editors working with me, I did about 25 videos right before Black Friday and posted them all. There we go. I'm just turning that one off. If you've seen any of the color grades that I've done, those are all done on this monitor. And I'm going to pull it up in the Amazon, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll wrap up. And I'll just invite you guys again on Monday when we're doing another show. And this one is going to be more detailed. So I've shown you all the monitors here. We've unboxed one. I'm just going to go right into the display calibration. I'm going to answer any questions that I didn't get in today's show. But this monitor behind me, this is from Sceptre. So hopefully you guys can see it on this screen. This is the one I use personally. I'll pull my system up here. So this is a video editor. I'm a Final Cut Pro editor. So this is a video editor that I use. Now what's nice about it is I can work within the Final Cut view. Now, it's going to have bars if I'm going to just be previewing or playing back a video. This is me, and I took a trip through an Amazon Go. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Amazon Go. There is no checkout at an Amazon Go. So you walk through, you grab stuff, you walk out. It's so weird. But this is a video I'm working on. It's going to be coming out here pretty soon. I'm going to turn my keyboard back on to get out of this. Grab some stuff for the wife. So I edit videos. I can do color grades. I can do all my stuff, my timelines. Very color accurate. That's another thing that I really like about this one. I'm just going to see if I can go into the color and effects workspace. So there's the color bars that I have over here. I know it's really hard to see because this monitor is so bright, even this far away. I'm going to go ahead and turn the brightness down. The backlight's at 24%, so there's almost no backlight. And you can see then I can do my timeline editing, all my overlays, effects, things like that. But at the same time, I have enough room. I can actually keep my Discord up over here. So if I'm chatting with you guys on Discord, it's because I'm doing editing and I've got side by side. So this is their 34-inch from Sceptre. I want to go check one out, but I think the one near you is probably 3.5 hours from me, somebody says in the chat. So yeah, that would do a little bit of a drive there, Jake. But one of these days, man, one of these days you'll come out and we'll hang out. Maybe we'll do a dual show. Wouldn't that be funny? I got Restream. We could go live in both systems at once. That would be kind of entertaining for sure. Let me pull this up on Amazon and show you what it is. I personally bought this monitor. Sceptre didn't even know about it. We had one monitor that fell out of the carousel today just for some supply chain issues. I said, let me show this one, because if you're a hardcore creator and maybe you game occasionally, if 100 hertz is good enough for you when it comes to gaming and you want to be a creator, this is a really cool opportunity here on this one. So I'm just pulling this up right now from the carousel. Hey, Live Production Review says, hey buddy, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, my friend. we're just taking a look at Amazon right now. We are on the last Sceptre monitor of the day. This one shares a lot of features of the 27 that I showed earlier. Some of the same kind of stand items that I've noticed here. That same clip does have the adjustability, height, up, down, all that kind of stuff works great. This is what I love about it though. Look at all those inputs. Now you are limited to 100 hertz. Again, that's the drawback on a creator monitor. It's an IPS, amazing color accuracy on this one. Very, very happy with it. Honestly, I haven't had to calibrate it because out of the box, I can look at my footage and go, yeah, that looks right. So I knew right away, but we're going to calibrate this on Monday. I'm going to get you the results of the calibration. So 99% sRGB, IPS, it's 300 nits of brightness, but I have suspicion that it's a little bit brighter even because I've got this thing turned down to like 20% back here for you guys. So there's just some of the basic stats. And again, they're showing, looks like Photoshop here. Showing, doing some creative work on it. This gives you the real estate of about, what is that? 1.5, one and a third monitors. So if you're coming from a double monitor world and you don't want to have two monitors, this 34 fits in perfectly in there. And Sceptre does have some other 43 and 48, I think, ultra wides, which is really good. Jake's saying, I plan to game a bit more after the holidays, but more Xbox. Yeah, so this one with all of the inputs can work with Xbox. My Xbox normally lives behind me on the desk, and I actually have it plugged into this machine. So if I'm waiting for something to render, which this M1 Mini runs so fast I almost don't have to, but if I'm doing that, I can swap over and play an Xbox game with the monitor and using the picture-by-picture, picture-in-a-picture modes, I can see them as well. So this has been John the Net Guy. I'm going to do a quick review of what we looked at today. I showed you this monitor. Now, coming from the 32, this thing is like a feather. This is one of the best deals right now on a 25-inch gaming monitor. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one back up in the carousel, and we're going to talk about all these real fast, and then we're going to drop off, and I will invite you guys to come see me on Monday. But this one's $119 right now. This is the second one on the list. It's a full HD 165, very good budget gaming monitor if you're looking for something for kids maybe. If you wanted to upgrade to a 27, I showed you a 27 240 hertz down there, which was really good. I showed you this monstrosity of a 32-inch. I'm going to pull this up because honestly I can't get out of my studio if there was a fire because this thing is so big. I showed you this guy. Oh, I got to plug him back in. Oh, I think I'm going to need to lift weights after that. So I showed you this 32-inch IPS as well. This is a great creator slash gamers. I've showed you the C30 ultra wide. This is in side-by-side mode still. So let's kick it out of the side-by-side mode. I think we should go back to gaming. So my daughter wants to play Fortnite with me. I promised her we would play Fortnite after the show. So I think I might try it on this one though. Flip it around and play it. But wow. What a big monitor. So I showed you this one. This is the 32-inch IPS display. Great for Xbox. Great for PC gaming. Tons of screen real estate. Super immersive. This is the QPN Plus that has the sides. I've never seen that but one before. Really do like that one. Also showed you the 34-inch behind me, the creator's monitor here. So this is just half the monitor you're seeing here. It's got some of my timeline of my editor, and then I've got my Discord going over there. So I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. Don't miss me on Monday. We got a few things going on. So Sceptre Gaming Creator Monitors, that was today. Then we've got the Smart Home Kitchen one later today. I should be back online here in 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. And we'll be doing a kitchen tech show, hopefully. Knock on press board. We'll see how that one goes. And then on Monday, I think we're going to do some cool stuff. Cyber Monday, if you're coming back, we're going to do more Sceptre monitors. We're going to do these monitors, but we're going to take a techie look at them. We're going to see how they work. Hey, Gary, thanks for the check-in there. I see you started following. Gary, you're going to get notified each and every time I go live. I appreciate that. This is a live show. And then normally I do PC builds and gear reviews on Tuesdays with my Tech on Tuesday show. Looks something like this if you've seen that before. But actually, I'm going to skip it this week, and I'm going to do a PC build on Cyber Monday. We're going to try to look for as close to a $500 build as we can get. And I'm going to do that 4 p.m. All the times are Pacific times. I need to put that out there real quick. So Pacific, the easiest way is to make sure that you're following me on Amazon. And if you do follow me on Amazon, there we go. That's the URL that you want to go to. If you follow me on Amazon at that URL down there, you're going to get notified in your app each and every time I go live. So this has been John the Net Guy. I'm going to take one last look at the chat, make sure I didn't lose anybody here. You'll have to give me my computer back before we play. My daughter's saying, yeah, okay, I'll have to give you the computer back, dang. So I'll give her gaming machine back, and I'll switch over to my gaming machine, which is over there and ready to go. So I love that. And I'm just taking a look real quick here. Live production reviews. Thank you for the follow, my friend. I really do appreciate that. I'm going to have to check your stuff out as well. And thank you guys all. It has been John the Net Guy. Thanks, Sceptre, for sending out all of these fantastic monitors. Here's another view of what they sent me. Very excited to show you all of them. There's a little bit here for everybody. Now, if you have questions, feel free to shoot them to me in any of the standard platforms if you can, and we'll try to answer them on Monday's show. Come back here Monday, same bat time, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to go through and test more of these. And if you have questions, maybe you'll even get your monitors by then if you've purchased some of them. If you are going to purchase them, if you use the carousel or the link that has my Amazon idea list in the description, that earns me a tiny little commission, which I appreciate. Helps keep the lights on and the cameras running here. And so I really do appreciate you guys for doing that. Thanks again. And just taking a look real quick. Any giveaways somebody says for these shows? That was from Jeremy. You know what? I might have a giveaway. I'm going to think about, see what I can come up with. I'll have to go look at the stock room here and see what needs to go. But we'll come up with some fun stuff, and maybe we'll do that on Monday. Thank you all, and I will catch you guys all in the next one.